Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of my wonderful and beautiful little subscribers out there. And how I love you all, so, and I hope that you're all super duper well, super duper wonderful, and super duper delicious. And that life is treating you most deliciously. 3, 2, 1, my juicy little lights. Thank you, little lights. You're delicious and bright, yes. So it's 20 past 3 in the afternoon in our old England, my delicious little babies. And it's raining, and it's very grey, so there's no sunshine. And it's going on and off chilly. Okay, my delicious little babies, so that doesn't mean no, okay? So that's the weather forecast, my delicious little babies, okay? Now then, so I do have a few videos to give out today, my delicious little babies, okay? And I'm going to name the title of my video, Does This Make Sense? Okay, my delicious little babies. Now then, so let's go through these videos, and then I can close my book because we need to go back to where we need to go back to. And then we can have a discuss. Okay, my delicious little babies. So the first one, I haven't seen this dear gentleman, and with anybody not in that way, I haven't seen this dear gentleman forever. My delicious little babies, I mean, bless his dear little soul. He passed some years ago now. Okay, my delicious little babies. He was, what was he? Bless his dear little heart. He was 62. I really wish, that he had of, bless his dear soul, but he had of gone down the natural way, if you know what I mean. There we are, my delicious little babies. I really wish that he had have done that, my delicious little babies, okay? So this uploader, because they're all on YouTube today, my delicious little babies, okay, is called capital P Playing, okay, so it's not with a G on the end, Playing Hard. So it's 2 words into one, Playing Hard. Okay, my delicious little babies, that's the uploader, my delicious little babies. This uploader happened to have 8.07 thousand subscribers, my delicious little babies, okay? Because some of these videos, they go back, there we are, many years ago, okay? And even when you look at when they were uploaded, okay, some are rather recent, the other uploaders have uploaded, and some go way back, okay, my delicious little babies. So this video should read, Christopher Hitchens, yes, Christopher Hitchens, my delicious little babies. I remember a few years ago, I mentioned a video to do with Peter Hitchens, which is dear Christopher Hitchens' brother, my delicious little babies. So I'll repeat this again. Christopher Hitchens' epic opening statement, must see. Okay, my delicious little babies, okay? So what do I want to say about this? This video is just over 20 minutes long, my delicious little babies. Oh, yeah. And he talks about the Catholic Church. He talks about Africa. Oh, yeah. He really does have his say, my delicious little babies. And to be perfectly honest, he could not be faulted for anything that he said, my delicious little babies. Not in my view, anyway. Now, the next one, my delicious little babies, okay? This too is to do with our dear Christopher Hitchens. And also what's interesting is to look at some of the comments, my delicious little babies, because there are so many who are wishing, there we are, that he was still here today, my delicious little babies. Like, especially with everything what's going on in the world, my delicious little babies, if you follow me. So this one here, this was 11 years ago, so, this is an older one. And this uploader happened to have 465 subscribers, my delicious little babies, okay? I haven't looked at any other videos, to be honest with you, my delicious little babies, to do with these uploaders, okay? My delicious little babies, I was only going to, there we are, what I needed to write down and listen to. This upload was called, or is called, Avery Space Brooks. Okay, Martelish Little Babies, capital A, Avery, Avery space Brooks, capital BROOKS. Okay, Martelish Little Babies. And the video should read Christopher Hitchens, his last public appearance. Okay, Martelish Little Babies, such a shame. And bless his, sorry, excuse me, bless his dear little soul. He was, you know, I mean, he must have been extremely tired, but he still got up on the stage and, you know, spoke to his dear followers and fans, Martelish Little Babies, okay. But even though he was in the news and on different programs, even though he was on different programs in the news and, you know, different things like this, if we had our feel, we do have some, but not many, okay? But if more and more spoke up, there we are, like Christopher, there we are, Hitchens, okay, Martelish Little Babies. I mean, his brother speaks up a lot, Martelish Little Babies, okay? Well, I do genuinely feel that there'd be far more who would, there we are, get it all properly. Okay, my delicious little babies, but very sadly missed. Okay, my delicious little babies. But yeah, I haven't seen him forever. And then I actually heard him on our lovely Mal Care, Mornings with Mal Care, my delicious little babies on Rumble. She's up to 198,000 subscribers, my delicious little babies. And she happened to mention, I thought, flip me, I thought, I haven't flipping seen him, there we are, forever. He completely, so I'm ever so sorry about this, he completely went out my noddle, my delicious little babies, for all that time. But yeah, but if you look at the comments as well, there's so many who miss him. It's just unreal, my delicious little babies. And, you know, and who can blame anybody for missing him? Because he talked, there we are, damn well common sense. And not only that, but for ones who he never got along with, okay? And, you know, one of them actually happened to be, so that doesn't mean yes, because he never got along with them. He made his feelings very known to do with, this is another video now, my delicious little babies. It's none of these two, okay? You need to have a little scroll through, you know, should anybody have any form of an interest, if you do not know who dear Christopher Hitchens was, my delicious little babies. There'll be many who do, but there may be many, there we are, who do not. Okay, my delicious little babies. Well, he was very good at putting them in their place as well, my delicious little babies. Do you see what I mean? And that's what I'm saying, you know, and calling out the shart, which is clearly, there we are, what he did. And of course, you know, he was very excellent at, there we are, geopolitical, my delicious little babies. Do you see what I mean? Okay. So I would say that this is just myself. It's just my view. I'm a woman with a view. I shall have my effing view. Haven't said that for a while, my delicious little babies. He's one of the few who, there we are, you know, doesn't talk bullshit. There we are, tells it the way it is. There we are, bless him, when he was here on our earth. And there's an old-fashioned saying, isn't there, my delicious little babies? It's always the good ones, you know, who, you know, for most, okay, because we have got some ones who are older who are marvellous, okay. But the old-fashioned saying is, figure of speech, it's always the good that's very sadly pass young. Do you see what I mean, my delicious little babies? Of course, there are many, including our lovely dear little Mel Care and her dear partner Rob, you know, not in that way with anyone, where she wishes he was back as well. Do you know what I mean? Especially at this time, my delicious little babies. Do you see what I mean? I'm pretty sure, there we are, he would have plenty to say. I mean, he can see everything, but he cannot communicate, you know, unless you get a medium who, you know, communicates with, you know, celebrities, or, do you know what I mean? Something like this now then. But well worth a listen. Sorry, my delicious little babies, never needed to stumble there, but that's about just over 30 minutes. Okay, my delicious little babies, but may you rest in peace, dear Chris, you know what I mean? But I just do not feel he probably is resting in peace, you know, not seeing all the sharp what's going on down here. My delicious little babies, not at all. Now, the final video to advertise today, this was 6 days ago. Now, here's the thing, I couldn't put a comment to say thank you for listening to this video and to say that I would advertise them, because it was, you could click on it where it's the live chat. You know, this was from 6 days ago, like I said. But yeah, YouTube, very sneaky, man. They've done it on some other videos as well, my delicious little babies, where you cannot put, and some you cannot even put a comment at all. This happens to be one of them. But some of them, it's where the comment section is completely gone. Do you see how they're up? There we are. Do you see how they're operating, my delicious little babies? Yes. Okay. So this final one here, now I was actually looking at other videos and then I came across this one, my delicious little babies. So this is not something that came up on my feed. Just the same as our Christopher Hitchens, bless him. He never came up on my feed, so I needed to, you know, type it in. But this uploader is called capital E, English, space, capital C, Constitution, and then space, capital P, Party. Okay, my delicious little babies. So you should read, once tapped in, should anybody have any form of an interest, English, Constitution, Party in old YouTube, my delicious little babies. Okay. Now then, this video is just over 1 hour and 20 minutes long, my delicious little babies. Okay. This uploader happens to have 2.81 thousand subscribers. I've never seen these videos before, my delicious little babies. For some of you, you may have seen them, you know, to do with this English Constitution Party, but for myself, I haven't. Now, the video should read, Graham Moore speaks to Dr. David Martin about COVID, you know, COVID-19 and the bioweapon jab. Okay, my delicious little babies, so I'm just going to repeat that again for you, shall I? Graham Moore speaks to Dr. David Martin about COVID-19 and the bioweapon jab. Okay, my delicious little babies, so they're all ticked off, aren't they? Like I said, we need to go back to where we need to go back to, my delicious little babies. Now then, let's have a discussion, let's discuss. So yeah, so, and Dr. David Martin, I have mentioned him, there we are, many times before, my delicious little babies. I regard him as being, there we are, very honest, very truthful. And, you know, basically he does not want anybody to forget what happened, my delicious little babies. I'm just going to have a little sip of my coffee out of my whole cup. Please and thank you. I think I'll have two. Okay, my delicious little babies. So he wants everybody to remember, there we are, what has been done. For myself, I talk about this, there we are, regularly, my delicious little babies, okay? There are other uploaders, bless them, there we are, they talk about this regularly, okay? And this is usually the reason why your videos just do not get out. So the only ones who can see my videos is somebody who's already subscribed to me. You know, unless somebody else decides to pass them on. Do you see what I mean? To do the information, my delicious little babies. So I've been going through this now, there we are, for a long time. Okay, my delicious little babies, and very sad, you know, sad to say, sadly, so some other uploaders. Okay, my delicious little babies. But yes, we must never forget what these putrid have done, my delicious little babies, okay? And as I always believe, you know, what was it? Just a figure of speech, my delicious little babies, just a figure of speech. But I believe that every mean, I don't like the word dog. You know, I prefer to call them our beautiful little babies, but I'm talking about something else. I believe that every dog has its day. There we are. Do you know what I mean? My delicious little babies. Do you see what I'm saying? Yes. But of course, that they hope that it goes away, that everybody stops talking about it. This is why you got a lot, there we are, the censoring, you know what I mean? Because ones are still marty peed off to do with the lockdowns, to do with everything. I mean, the damage that it caused. We're still in it now, my delicious little babies. There we are. Do you see what I mean? Okay. Well worth a listen to that video, my delicious little babies. Okay. That doesn't mean they've just got an itch. Okay. So that's that. Now then, does this make sense? That's what I want to say. So does this make sense, my delicious little babies? That's, like I said, I'm going to repeat it again. That's going to be the title of my video. Does this make sense? And it'll probably take hours upon hours to upload. My delicious little babies, usually my videos usually do. Okay, my delicious little babies. Well, they're saying, aren't they? Okay, now I was going to do a video yesterday on this, okay, my delicious little babies, but then I just thought, oh, okay. And I was actually uploading a video, which was still uploading this morning from yesterday, my delicious little babies. So in the end, I just deleted it. It's just taking hours upon hours upon hours. It's damn rank and it's disgusting what's going on. Okay, my delicious little babies, but anyway. Let's just fast forward. So, does this make sense? So, they're saying that Trouble Trump, that now he wants, I've heard this days ago, okay? But now he wants an investigation into to do with these jabs. Okay, my delicious little babies, okay? Well, the part that I'm asking, does this make sense, is that he knows there we are the damage. He knows the damage that this has caused in our world, my delicious little babies, okay? The same as the rest of the putrid, there we are, governments. Okay, my delicious little babies, okay? And he still called it up until a certain point that it's one of his greatest achievements, my delicious little babies. So all of a sudden now, you know, a few days ago, whatever it was, that now he's saying he wants an investigation. So they're trying to make out, this is my thoughts in my noddle, ding, ding, dong, dong, my delicious little babies. So they're trying to make out that Trouble Trump never knew nothing about this. Bullshit. Well, bullshit. Okay, my delicious little babies, okay? Because there we are, he did know. He did know. Okay, Matt, there we are. Okay, my delicious little babies, okay? And even after all the damage that's been done, okay, he was still bragging. Like I said, his greatest achievement. Okay? So this story now, I don't believe a word of it. And any decent uploader who's decent in the heart should not believe this bullshit either, my delicious little babies, okay? Could it be that number one, they've got to run a story. Well, it is rewind and start again. See, I'm stumbling here. This is not a story. This is, there we are, damn well reality of what has taken place, which is murderers, because that is what they are, murderers. Okay? So I do not believe the bullshit. Nobody can tell myself anything different. And any decent uploader, there we are, should be honest as well. And not just run along with this shit. Okay, my delicious little babies, okay? Because what they're trying to do now, they're trying to, there we are, to backpedal. There we are. This is what they're trying to do now, isn't it? Now, could it be that, because more and more, there we are, waking up. Okay? So that's what I have to say there. Number two, I've mentioned this so many times. Does this make sense? If there were so many billions in the world and there are too many of us smart, delicious little babies, then surely we would be stepping over one another, but we're not. Okay, my delicious little babies. So does this make sense? That there is so many billion and that so many billion need to be gotten rid of. Does this make sense, my delicious little babies? So for that, I would say no. It does not make any sense. Okay, my delicious little babies, okay? So does it make sense as well that certain... So I'm just asking, does it make sense? So does it make sense to let some cultures have lots and lots and lots of babies? Of course, any baby's a blessing, okay? My delicious baby, so do not mean it that way. And other cultures are told that, no, you can only have one, like they did in China for so many years. So you're only allowed, there we are, to have one baby. Okay, then the putrid government over there then decided to say at another time, another year, oh yes, you know, we need to, our population needs to make more babies. Okay, my delicious little babies, okay, so does this make sense? No, it doesn't. I mean, if we go back many decades ago, decades ago, and I'll repeat this again. I mean, my beautiful, oh, how I love my beautiful dear little nanny and granddad, sir. I've already said good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. My beautiful dear little Nana Bear, she came from a large family, a very large family, my delicious little babies, do you know what I mean? And my beautiful dear little great Nana Bear, you know, how I love her so. I've already said, but you know, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night also. She was the youngest of 13, and that was in all. In England, in our old England, my delicious little babies, do you see what I mean? But then, of course, over the decades, the numbers started to reduce, you know, because ones were saying, we heard it so many times over the decades, which I'm sure that you did, my delicious little babies, where they said, oh no, we can only afford to have two, cannot afford any more than two, you know, because it's just too expensive. You see, so what the putrid governments did, because we know, don't we, that they're puppets and muppets and twats for somebody else now, then somebody's else's. Do you know what I mean, my delicious little babies? Okay, they made it so difficult for ones to have larger families, but then for other cultures, okay, Ireland was the same. You know, had large families. There we are, my delicious little babies. Do you understand what I mean? Okay, and then of course they started to get reduced as well. Okay, but then you had other cultures, say Pakistan, India. Well, anyway, it's all as one. Anyway, they just broke it up. The fact of the matter is, my delicious babies, that they could have more babies, and then of course for other cultures they had less babies. So does this make sense, my delicious little babies? Okay, because surely you would want generations, there we are, to thrive. Do you see what I mean? Does it make sense to sterilise the majority of different countries of their populations? Does this make sense, my delicious little babies? So to all of these, I would say no, my delicious little babies. Do you see what I'm saying, okay? So the fact of the matter is, what's the point to everything what I'm saying before I end my video, my delicious little babies? And thank you so very much. So thank you for any views, for any likes, and for the occasional comments. And how I love you all so. You're so beautiful, wonderful, and delicious, and I love you. The fact of the matter is that none of this makes sense. What this comes down to, and it doesn't mean yes, what it comes down to is certain who want to tell us, dictate to us, my delicious little babies, in our country, in old England, and in other countries, you know, apart from a few countries who know nothing about what's going on, my delicious little babies, okay, to tell us how to live our lives, when to eat, when to sleep, when to shit, when to piss. Okay, my delicious little babies, okay? How many jobs there we are to take up. Okay, what we should be doing for a living, what we shouldn't be doing. Who the effing hell are these? Who are they in reality, my delicious little babies? Because without creating the ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching out of nowhere, there'd be fuck all, man. Fuck all. So really, they should be very nice about this and stop doing what they're doing, because I tell you something now, and it's not only myself who's saying it. Okay? I mean, I'm out and about walking, do you know what I mean? It's amazing what you hear. Do you know what I mean, my delicious little babies? And by the way, I'm not inciting anything. I'm just, pointing something out here. That, it's right now, it's on a simmer. There we go. It's on a simmer right now. Do you know what I mean? Ones are just damn well had enough of this shit. Do you know what I mean, my delicious little babies? Okay? Because that's what it is. It's shit. It's a small amount wanting, there we are, to rule us. And they're still rambling on about that poxy flipping stable coin in a born in the USA. Oh, they're really, 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 there we are, trying their best to push that, just so that they can pass it around the world, just so that you and I out here and, in other countries, my delicious little babies, just so that, they can limit what you eat, limit what you drink, limit what you do, stick you in 15-minute cities. I've talked about this so many flipping times, right? Not let you save any ka-ching, not let you do anything, because they don't want you to have cash. Ka-ching, cash is king, my delicious little babies. Do you see what I'm saying? Yes, okay? So, like I said, does it make any sense? Does it make sense? Does this make sense? No, it doesn't. It may do to these, but it does not to any of us, my delicious little babies. Do you see what I mean? Okay, and even when I'm talking to ones now, some, they're saying no. They say, we love to have our cash. There we are, our ka-ching. And some have said to myself, because it's such an old-fashioned saying, isn't it? Cash is king. So at least you can go and buy something. So it's all ding, ding, dong, dong common sense. I've said this long time. I've stood in shops and the machines are down. So what do you rely on? You rely on, there we are, your ka-ching, your cash. So I say, I'm awfully sorry. I said, I've just got to, pay for my goods and just leave. While somebody else, 2 or 3 others are stood in a queue because they've only got the card. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see how there we are, complicated? There we are. This has really become my delicious little babies. Do you see what I'm saying? Yes, okay. So none of it makes sense. It may do to certain, whoever they are, to whom it may concern. It does not make sense to any of us. It's certainly not going to enrich any of our lives. And if anybody feels that I've swore, well, if you feel offended, I'm sorry that you feel offended. But at the end of the day, I'm getting mighty fucking peed off with the whole lot. I really, really am. It's just pissing me off, man. I've even got my flipping old jumper on. I just thought, because I've just finished cooking my delicious little babies, you know what I mean? So, I've got my old jumper on. I thought, I cannot even be bothered to put on my, another top, my delicious little babies, you know what I mean? I just want to get my video out and just be done with it. So thank you so very much. I wasn't shouting or swearing at yourselves, my delicious little babies, you know what I mean? But there has to be a point, my delicious little babies, there we are, where enough is enough now. There we are. Do you see? Okay? Because we cannot let them fully take over. They will not take over. No, they will not. Okay? So this is the way it's going. Okay? And there's more and more and more. They're just not happy. The energy, the whole energy, the whole feeling, the energy in the air, there's something very wrong. There we are, very wrong. Do you see what I mean, my delicious little babies, okay? But what do ones do when they got, there we are, absolutely F all to lose? That's the question, my delicious little babies. Do you see what I mean? And really, if we look at it, there we are, this is going to get a lot worse. But it won't get worse for ourselves. It's going to get worse for these flipping pieces of shit who's supposed to be looking after their populations, my delicious little babies, and they are shit. That's what they are. And I do not give a fiddler's fuck what anyone says to myself. I'm past fucking caring now. Past fucking caring, indeed. You know what I mean? Okay? One should just let others just live in peace, isn't it? You know what I mean? But instead, you got others still flipping rambling on about politics. Should just fuck them all out. Get rid of them. Tell them to get on their back and fucking pedal fast. Because we do not want them. You see what I mean? Okay? None of them are any good. They're all piece of shit. All their shit stinks to high fucking heaven. And they want to put, there we are, their shit out into our boat races. Do you see what I'm saying to you, my delicious little babies, okay? But of course, like I said before, you got some who they just vert all the time. Some mothers do have them. They're never going to fucking learn. Do you know what I mean? They're the type, there we are, that you just got to put to, you know, you do. You have to put them to the side, okay? Because you cannot help them. They're brain dead. And I do not like that word, but that's what they are. Completely and utterly fucking brain dead. Do you know what I mean? My delicious little babies, okay? So that's all I've got to say. I'm not going to say sorry for my swearing. No, I'm not. Do you know what I mean? It's just one of those days today for me to get my video out. There we are. But to really speak my fucking mind. And I cannot stand little bastards. Do you know what I mean? They're laughing in our fucking birth races at the same time, murdering and disabling fucking millions in our country and in other damn countries. It's going on flipping everywhere. Okay, my delicious little babies, guys, so we've got to stand up for ourselves. There we are. And stand up good and proper, isn't it? We do not have to use violence, no. But there we are, but we stand up for our damn selves. Otherwise, you know, very sadly, we're going to lose millions more. Mankind, my delicious little babies and little babies, because they're going for our beautiful little babies who we call our sons and daughters. Oh, yes, they were doing that in the old pandemic, my delicious little babies, okay? And I already knew about this well before anybody even told me about anything, my delicious little babies, because like I said before, and I repeat again, I've seen a pattern. Okay, my delicious little babies, so they're going for everything, isn't it? Well, there's going to be, there we are, a price, isn't there? You see what I mean? And like I said, if you go back to 1989 in Romania, my delicious little babies, do you see what I mean, okay? And if you look at now Serbia, you know what I mean? You know how they're feeling about everything. You see, nobody wants any trouble or strife in the countries. Nobody does. So who is bringing it? These pieces of shit are bringing it, isn't it? Because I haven't got a backburn to say, no, we are not going to do this to our populations. We are not going to do this to our fellow mankind. You see, they don't have a backburn because they're bought and paid for little bitch and bastards. Simple thing, that's what's going on. There we are here. Okay, my delicious little babies, okay? They are not cut from the same cloth. They're wicked, they're putrid, sorry. They're evil, and evil lives. And that is what I have to say on my video, my delicious little babies. You know, not inciting anything or anything. You know what I mean? My delicious little babies, okay? So until my next video, whether it's morning, afternoon or evening, please have a super duper delicious time. You only get one life, my little honey bunnies. Sending peace, love, harmony and bright blessings to each and every one of you. And may your beautiful little selves and your beautiful little families all be fully protected. So until my next video, how I love you so. Please take care of yourselves now and please try to take care of others. How I love you. Thank you once again for listening. Once again, I was not swearing or shouting at any of yourselves. So much love. But I've got to air it somewhere. Okay, my delicious babies. So much love to you all. Bye.